It's super soft, it's sleek, and it just might be the best everyday sneaker of 2025. But is it really worth your money? And also, stay tuned because in the middle of the video, I have a comparison breaking this down with some similar options to see how it goes against its competitors. So I definitely recommend you stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and first talk about the first impressions. And I gotta say, straight from the box, I wasn't the most excited. As you guys can see, I normally have my box on the table, but the box wasn't as pleasing. It was a little beat up. But with that being said, besides the box, when you open up these sneakers from the actual New Balance box, it was a regular box, but you can tell straight out the gate that this is a very premium sneaker. The upper features engineered mesh with zonal stretch, giving you lockdown in the forefoot, but flexibility is up top. The heel is sculpted and padded, which helps reduce pressure points during long wears. The overall silhouette is more redefined than the previous version, which was the V13. And I do want to say that with this streamlined silhouette, the shape actually works really well with both athletic and casual fits. Now, I recommend you stay tuned for those comparisons because I got the Hulk Clifton going to be compared and also the Invincible Run. And I gotta say, it's quite interesting how they compare with the two, so stay tuned. Now here's exactly where the Fresh Foam X earns its name. As you guys can probably tell by that thick midsole, it is indeed from the bottom of the shoe. Now, what I gotta say is, looking at it straight out the gate, the stack height is crazy, you guys, and as you guys can probably tell, it is gonna add a lot of comfort. Now, more on the midsole is super thick, it's squishy and responsive with a slightly firmer feel than last year's model. I do want to say it's not a sink-in foam, but you do get a nice bounce out of it. But if you're looking for maybe something that is on the more lighter side, maybe like a racing shoe, I definitely recommend you seek other options, which I will have later in the video. Now, in this sneaker, you do not get that very much sink-in foam where it's like almost like kind of like a very like cloud-like feel. But I do want to say you do get a nice bounce with this shoe right here. And this is basically ideal. I would say this personally, I feel like it's ideal for maybe running miles, doing some errands, going on the treadmill, or just basically just everyday activities. What this shoe really stands out for is it's very good for very prolonged times on your feet. Maybe you have a long shift or maybe those long walks. And I do want to say this isn't the most lightest shoe out there. So if you're looking for something that is very featherweight light and you want like maybe like a race day shoe or some sort, I definitely not recommend this one right here, but I do have some good news later in the video. I do have a couple options for you. But with that being said, for this sneaker, it does not leave your feet aching when you do use it for long periods of time. So that is definitely where the Fresh Foam X kicks in for sure. So imagine slipping these on after a long day in stiff shoes, and that is the instant relief that the 1080-14 delivers. But what if there's actually one feature that people overlook that could be a big game changer? We're about to get into that in the next section. And this next section is basically going to be about the overall wear and tear. The outsole uses blown rubber in high impact zones, and the traction pattern grips well on most surfaces. And also, I've done my research and I've heard you can expect at least 400 to 500 miles out of these if you're a regular walker or runner. Now, I've heard the breathability is solid. Now, it is not the coolest shoe for the summer, but it's not a complete sweat trap either. That said, the upper can attract dirt and doesn't clean as easily as some of its competitors. Now, some of the pros and cons that I had to make sure I noted and made sure to put you guys on with, as I wanted to say, as I was saying earlier, it is extremely comfortable for the long hours. Also, something is that it is great for both running and casual wear, but as I was saying, it's not the heaviest sneaker, but it's also not the lightest, so it's not the best for maybe the up-tempo runs or maybe when you're trying to get a new PR. But I also do want to say it has a very modern and stylish silhouette. It goes with a lot of things. You can go ahead and pair it up with joggers, jeans, and it basically just won't look out of fit. I know you guys have seen those sneakers where maybe it's only fit for maybe the running scenario or maybe just fit for lifestyle. This is one that meshes in pretty good with both scenarios. Now, another pro is it's very durable. It has a nice durable outsole, and it has a very responsive foam, as I was saying, with that bounce after every step. And then last thing last for the pros, I do want to name that it is true to size for its fit. Now, also, we got to go over the cons. So my first con is that it might be overpriced for those casual consumers. And we'll get into the price a little later in the video, so make sure you stay tuned. And also, it is slightly bulky for those who want maybe a more lightweight feel. And then last but not least, it is not as breathable for the very hot conditions. Now I know summer is coming up, and I know in California it's not the hottest, even though I feel like us people in California, we still think it's hot when it comes to summertime. But I know it may not be as ideal for maybe people in Arizona, maybe Las Vegas, but I still recommend you give it a shot. Maybe go ahead and try it on and just test how it feels. But that's just my personal opinion. And let's go ahead and get into the next section. Here we're gonna go ahead and stack this sneaker up with some of its biggest rivals. And the first one I do want to bring to your attention is the Hoka Clifton 9. It's a very lightweight sneaker. I feel like it's very similar to this right here. Well, let's go ahead and get straight into that. I do want to say the Hoka Clifton 9 is, as I was saying, lightweight, and it's actually lighter and softer than this sneaker right here, but it is less stable underfoot. Now, I do want to say the 1080 V14 wins in like the durability aspect, as well as that style versatility. It has very nice colorways and things of that nature. They have a gray one that actually has like a faded dark gray going to like a lighter gray in the bottom, which is super dope. And they also do have a blue one I've seen all over the internet, which I really recommend you check that link in the description. Even if you don't want to cop, I definitely recommend. It is very nice to go ahead and see all the different designs they came up with. But another thing, or another sneaker I do want to bring to your attention that we're going to compare is the Nike Invincible Run 3s. Now, I do want to also say there is a rumor around coming out that the New Balance or the Nike Invincible 4 is going to be coming out this year. So if you do want to see that review, stay tapped in with the channel, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you stay tuned with the videos that I drop, because I definitely, for sure, I'm going to get that as soon as it drops. But a little bit about the Invincible Run. The Invincible Run definitely feels bouncer, but the Fresh Foam X is one that is just more wearable in terms of like the everyday scenario. Now, if you want structure, I definitely recommend you go with the New Balance, but if you want something that has more energy return, I definitely, no doubt, would probably go the Nike Invincible Run if it was my personal decision. Now, last one I did want to compare this with is going to be the Asics Gel Nimbus 26s, and this is a very nice looking sneaker. They have so many different colorways, I gotta say, and I feel like that's one of the personal things that I probably would pick the Gel Nimbus over, is just the amazing colorful options they have. But a little bit about it, I definitely would say the Gel Nimbus has better arch support than this shoe right here, and I also do want to say the shock absorption is a little better. Now, a little more about it, I definitely would say New Balance wins on the more terms of upper comfort and some of the toe box space. So if that's what you're looking for, I definitely would go for the New Balance. But if you want more of that arch support and also that overall shock absorption, maybe go ahead and check out the Gel Nimbus 26. So is it worth it? Buy the New Balance Fresh Foam X 1080 V14. Now, if you're looking for something that has a very nice daily, everyday performance, that also has a very nice lifestyle appeal, I would say a very strong yes. This is one that is just built to last. It is one that has a great feel underfoot, and it is also one that just doesn't look out of place when you pair it up with joggers, jeans. It is just very versatile for basically just any different situation you put it in. Now, if you're looking for something very like featherweight or super light, maybe for a race day scenario, or even very breathable for like maybe more of a summer sneaker type of vibe, I probably would go ahead and seek some other similar options, but you are in a good spot, because I'm telling you, if you click up here, I have a couple of lists that you guys can go ahead and check. I have top 10 lists on the most comfortable sneakers. I have some sneakers for the lifestyle environment, everyday environment, so I definitely recommend you check there, and you'll get a lot of good inspo. But with that being said, if you guys have had some experience in maybe the 1080 V14 or basically just any other fresh foams out there, I recommend you give me your comments down below in the description, because I would really gladly be able to hear what you guys have to say about it. But if you like these reviews, these sneaker reviews, the breakdowns, and even just the comparison guides, make sure you guys leave a like on the video and hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned with the videos I have in the future. But I will have the links incorporated for these sneakers right here, all incorporated into one, so you guys can find all the different colorways, the pricing, and things of that nature. And there probably will be a sale on these. I wouldn't cap. There probably will be a sale, so I definitely recommend you check on that. But for now, until next time, I recommend you guys take every step comfortably and make sure your style is even cleaner. And you can go ahead and do that with the video right here, where you'll get put on game with some of the best summer essentials. I'll see you there.